Hi, I'm Jen. I recently made a video about 9 things that I have stopped wasting money on. Feel free to check it out, description below. So that got me thinking, what are some things that are totally worth spending money on? What would I splurge on and why? Well, one of the reasons to up the ante for me would be convenience. If the item or the service added convenience to my life. Convenience for me right now is a very welcome thing. I have put my time in using good old sweat equity instead of money. If I can pay extra for convenience, I'll do it. It's worth it to me. And customer service too. Just like convenience, I'm finished with the DIY stuff, do it yourself, to save money. If the cost difference comes down to customer service and great customer service, I will opt to pay more for the latter. Give me a little hint of that Jen is the most important customer that we have energy. I'm not too proud to say that it'll make my day brighter, and I am willing to pay for it. Another reason I'm willing to pay more is if it's better quality. I've said this before in lots of my videos. Quality over quantity. Buy the best you can afford. It's always worth it. If it's good for the environment. I'm a tree hugger at heart, and if it's good for the environment, I'll pay more for it. And guarantees. I love insurance. I love the feeling of not having to look over my shoulder or wonder about what if, especially as a single woman living alone. If 2 items or services offer a limited guarantee or a full or lifetime guarantee, I'm going to be the one paying for the full lifetime guarantee every time. So what are these things that I'd be willing to pay more for? Number 1 is upgraded plane seats, and while I'm on that plane, nonstop flights. Look, if you're traveling longer than, let's say, 2 hours, pay the extra $40 to $100 and get the premium coach seat, the upgraded economy, the one with more legroom, the exit row, whatever. Pay the extra money and get that seat. It makes all the difference in the world on longer flights. The same with nonstop flights. Sometimes it's unavoidable to have one layover, but if you can avoid 2 or 3 layovers, do it. Imagine spending $3,000 on a trip and catching a red-eye flight, sitting in economy in a middle seat, and having a 6 to 8 hour layover or 2. That's just pure misery. That's not a vacation. Not for me. I'll pay extra. A good mattress. Notwithstanding spinal alignment and pain relief and allergies, getting enough sleep can play an important role in your overall wellness. Weight, emotional well-being, physical and mental health, blood pressure, diabetes, and like a dozen other things. These days, it's so easy to buy a mattress, you can get one rolled up in a box and delivered to your door. Just make sure that you know your desired firmness, one that works for you. Test it out in a mattress store if you're not sure. Everyone's different, so don't just let the salesperson talk you into the most popular firmness or the most popular model, or buy one that you saw on television that everyone seems to like. Get one that works for you. Most mattresses in a showroom will have a 30 or 60-day exchange period. So if it's not working for you at home, you can exchange it and get one that does. Mattresses in a box will usually ask you to donate it to charity and send them the receipt, and then they will fully refund your money. Either way, find a mattress that works for you and exchange or donate the one that doesn't. Next, speaking as a Canadian here, always buy the best outerwear that you can. That means rain gear and snow gear, cold weather gear, outerwear. Don't get the Walmart version, get the good stuff. If you get the cheap rain poncho because it's only going to rain a couple times where you live, but then it shreds or leaks the first time you use it, then that's not working. That's not a bargain. That's cheap, and it's not saving you money. Likewise with cheap cold weather gear. Boots, parkas, gloves or mittens. Cheap fillings in cheap coats don't keep out the cold like the good ones do. And cheap fillings also trap moisture within them, and then they trap the moisture against you. And cheap down filling could be coated in fungus and mildew and other allergens. If you buy good quality outerwear and look after it out of season, it'll look after you and it'll last a decade. Garbage bags. I know you never think of these, but I am willing to pay extra for good garbage bags. If they leak or split and spill everything all over the floor, then what is the use of paying for anything that does that? The whole idea of a garbage bag is to keep garbage off the floor. Buy a garbage bag that is guaranteed to keep garbage off the floor. Also, if you buy at Costco as a single person, I am still working on a box of kitchen drawstring bags that I bought at Costco 4 years ago. I'm still using them. They've never split once, and I think they're great. Not affiliated, just I think they're great. An ergonomic office chair. I work from home and I make YouTube videos from home. I'm in my office, my home office, for 8 hours a day at least, sitting in my chair. It's a lot of sitting, and if I'm doing a lot of sitting, I want to be comfortable. When I was in the office, my employer always replaced broken or older chairs immediately. They made sure that everyone had an up-to-date, good-fitting ergonomic chair to work with. And you could ask for a new chair anytime. There was even a catalog full of ergonomic chairs that were approved by the company and approved by some health committee that would be good for you, and you could choose your own chair out of the catalog. Your chair is a tool and you don't want to work with bad tools. Being able to adjust the height and the seat length and have lumbar supporting backrest is a game changer when you have to sit for any length of time. A good knife. Cheap knives are made of softer steel and cheaper materials in the handle, which means that they take longer to sharpen, they don't stay sharp for as long, and the handle falls apart. Dull knives cause injuries and accidents, and they don't do a very good job. So buy a good knife and take care of it. And like everything else that's on this list, I think, it'll last decades if you do. Well, not garbage bags, but almost everything else. I still have a chef's knife that I bought in my 20s. I'll repeat that. I bought this knife in my 20s. I am 59 years old right now. This knife is over 30 years old. I still have it. It still holds an edge. I sharpen it a couple or 3 times a year because I don't cut a lot of things. I don't need it for cutting a lot of things. But it has stayed with me for 30 years. I haven't had to buy another chef's knife. It's not a named knife. It's not a famous knife. It's not a celebrity brand knife. I didn't pay $1,000 for it. I think I paid about probably $50 or $75 for it 30 years ago. So another one like it would, of the same quality, I guess, would be around $100 to $125 right now. I've had lots of other knives that have been good or bad or indifferent, and they have been lost when I moved or thrown out or given away or stolen by roommates. But this one chef's knife, this one perfect for everything that I need it for chef's knife, has stayed with me for my entire adult life. Find one like that. Proper shoes. Everybody knows this, right? Buy the best pair of shoes that you can. Weatherproof, waterproof, proper support, great tread, whatever it is that you're going to be using the shoes for, buy the best ones you can. If you don't, you'll just be buying another pair next year, and you will have spent the same amount of money if you had just bought the good pair in the beginning. Plus, you'll have had cold, wet, aching, sore feet for about half of the time. Not good. Even special occasion pretty shoes. If you buy your heels from a warehouse store, they look like you bought them from a warehouse store. That's not the statement that you want pretty shoes to make. If you're buying a forever pair of statement shoes, heels, stilettos, pumps, whatever, buy the best that you can. buy a designer pair. They'll last forever. They'll always be in style. You'll be wearing them for years with all different outfits. Hiring professionals to do jobs that I can't do. Whether it's a mover or an electrician or a car mechanic or a lawyer. If it's something you need done right the first time and you can't do it yourself, hire a professional. Not a guy with his own truck or a neighbor who managed to wire his own hot tub. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty and watch a YouTube video or two and attend a Home Depot how-to class on doing it yourself. But I also know my limitations, and if I can't do it perfectly the way that I would want it done, then I'm going to hire someone who can. If you want a half-baked job, hire an amateur. If you want a quality job, hire a professional. This one's one that not everyone thinks about every day, but if you are in the position to be moving, relocating your household to somewhere else, then a good neighborhood is something that you would want to pay extra for. I know I would. I know I did. Location, location, location is the realtor's mantra. You can fix up a house with flaws, but you can't fix up a neighborhood. This is especially true for solos. Yes, you want a good house, a sturdy house with all of the features that suit your lifestyle, yes. But if you're single, in my opinion, you want to feel safe. And all the deadbolts and locks and security cameras in the world aren't going to do that if you live in a shady neighborhood. If you're a young family with children, then you're looking for a neighborhood with good schools. If you're a couple, either young or old, then you're looking for a neighborhood with people of your own age and amenities nearby. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're in. Everybody should want to live in a good neighborhood. Everybody should be willing to pay extra to live in a good neighborhood. And finally, a pet sitter. When I go away and I can't find a family member or a friend to look after Sky and Quinn, I hire a pet sitter to come to my home, stay here, and look after them in my house. I don't put them in kennels. The reason for this is because when I was little, when I was younger, probably, 10 or 12 years old, we had a dog named Bear who we put in a kennel when we went away for summer vacation, the whole family. And when we got back after a week, she was hoarse from barking or whining or who knows what. But it was just heartbreaking that she had lost her voice and she didn't get it back fully for the rest of her life, like something had happened. And ever since then, I just cannot make myself leave Sky in a kennel. I won't leave Quinn in a kennel either. I'm going to hire someone to stay in the house with them and look after them here. Just as an aside, and I'm not affiliated with either one of these companies, but I use Rover for short, sort of long weekend type stays. And someone comes and stays at the house with the dog and cats. That has worked out really well. And if it was for something longer, then I would likely use trusted house sitters. People in my neighborhood, people I know, have used that organization, that company, and have had really good experiences with the people who come and look after their dogs in their house while they're away for longer periods of time. So I would use those. Again, not affiliated with either one of those. I've just had a good experience with Rover, and I know people who have had good experiences with trusted house sitters. So that's what I would use, and I would pay for it. You have to pay for it. But I would never put Sky or Quinn in a kennel. So tell me, what are some things that you're willing to pay extra for? I can't have just nailed it perfectly here on my very first try. I'm sure everyone's got some things that are not on my list that they are more than willing to pay extra for. Leave me a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much and see you next week.